Hello, it's 12 o'clock, and in anybody's language that has to be wine time. Well, I'm talking to you from southeast Spain, on the Costa Blanca in fact. It's August, and as I've said, it's only midday, and the temperature is already at 26 degrees. High temperatures are predicted. 3-4 o'clock it's likely to be just about 30 degrees. Now that's hot, so I need metaphorically transporting to the mountains, where there's going to be a little bit of a fresh breeze and we're going to be able to breathe and get away from some of this heat. And of course that's what the grapevines want to do during the ripening season here in Spain. It is so hot. I'm actually not that far away from Alicante, which of course is on the coast. You do get a bit of sea breeze, but you do not get any release at all from the temperatures during the night time. Okay, it goes down a little bit, but not much. But up in the mountains of Almeria, from whence this wine comes, well, you do get some respite at night, because there can be a considerable drop, sometimes around about 20-degree drop from daytime temperatures to nighttime temperatures. We're talking Almeria, we're talking in the Granada area, we're actually talking about the Valley of Alpujarra. We're also talking about this lovely white wine that you can see in front of you. It's called Tres Pueblos, 3 villages. Now, some of you may be thinking, hello, he's done this video before. In a way I have, but in a certain way I have not. And the reason for that is because this is the Mark III of the Tres Pueblos wines from my good friend Harry Hunt, a British guy, used to be in PR, but now loves to make his wine up in the Alpujarra mountains, the valley there. He's made it from grapes which have been selected from 3 different village areas, hence the Tres Pueblos, of course. There's a mixture of different grapes. Now, you will have heard of Macabeo. Many of you will have heard of Macabeo. This is one of the triumvirate, I suppose you could say, of grape varieties which are used to make cava. Of course, that's in Catalonia, about as far away as you can get from the Granada mountains. But nevertheless, Macabeo, grown all over Spain, very popular, and often has a certain apple aroma and sometimes crisp apple flavour to it as well. It's also made with Jaén Blanco, which is indigenous to the Almeria area, and it's one that provides a little bit of extra acidity along with some roundness as well, which might sound a little bit paradoxical, but it does in fact do that. And then it's made for one, and I know that I've mentioned to you this before on a previous video about a different actual wine in fact. Let's say that it's called Vichy. Vichy is the abbreviated version and far easier to say than Vihiriega. Vihiriega, got it right I think. This is an indigenous grape variety as well, and it's not very common. I understand there's some actually grown on the Canary Islands, but certainly indigenous to the Granada and Almeria area. Now, put those 3 together, and what we're looking for here is a really refreshing white wine. It's dry, of course, really refreshing dry white wine, and grown at altitude, so we do get that lovely fresh acidity and distinct aromas, and there's a depth of flavour as well. Well, what sort of flavour? We're always looking for that. When wine writers are telling us all about certain flavours, we like to know the aromas and we like to know the flavours. Well, certainly it's big on fruit. It's a fruit-driven wine, and that's one of the reasons why I particularly like it. It's not bland. Sometimes Macabeo can be a little bit bland when it overcrops and when it's grown in a climate which is perhaps too hot for it. This, of course, as I've said, is up in the mountains, so it doesn't get any of that. It gets the acidity, and you do get a little bit of green apple, but not much, because although Macabeo is one of the grape varieties, it's all imbalanced, and so the other 2 make a significant impact as well. First of all, you do get some fruit, basically apple, I have to say, on the aromas, but you get some white flowers. I'm talking honeysuckle aroma here as well, and honeydew melon. Now, out of the melon family, honeydew is probably my favourite. It's that lovely yellow skinned one and quite yellowy green flesh inside, and you can get almost dollops of that with this, balanced again with the apple acidity. But also you get a little bit, just a tiny touch, and this seems to be one of the characteristics of Bodegas Tierra Hermosa, Harry's Bodega. It seems to be one of the characteristics. You get a little bit of grated ginger with it as well, which really delights me because I'm big on sort of Southeast Asian food, and whenever I get a little bit of that in it, I know that this wine is going to go along with that sort of Southeast Asian food as well. Yeah, there's also just a little touch of lemon, but for me it doesn't come from lemons per se, but it comes more from the herb mountain lemon thyme, which adds a certain aroma to it, extra, perhaps a little bit of greenness, extra to the lemon as well, which makes it an absolute delight. It's 13.5%, so it's quite big, but it doesn't feel that way. It's got plenty of elegance, and also just on the finish, and I've noticed this time, whereas I didn't when I tried my first bottle of it, there is a slight oriental lychee on this wine, which is called Tres Pueblos. It's from Bodegas Tierra Hermosa, and it's from Almeria in the mountains. Look out for it. I really recommend it.